darling, I am not going to drive myself. I have my own chauffeur pick me up. First off, I want to say thank you for those that left comments, liked the video, or even just watched my last video. I really appreciate it. I was actually very proud of it. I felt like it was a small documentary about my life. It was nice. I thought I would show you guys just ways to, or tips and tricks I should say, on how to maneuver LA using public transportation, especially since gas prices are increasing every minute. I figured that this would be helpful for those of you that maybe want to come to LA or that are in LA with no car. So let's go. Just like if you have a car, there are pros and cons. There are also pros and cons to taking public transportation. With the cons, taking public transportation can be time consuming. It can take anywhere from an hour to 2 hours depending on where you are going and how accessible the bus or the subway is to wherever it is you're going. Those public transportation, the bus again or the subway, can also be very dirty, smelly, and crowded to the point to where sometimes there are no seats. However, that usually only lasts a small period of time because there is a peak time where it is extremely crowded, and some buses are more crowded than others. For example, the number 2 and the number 4, I know those are some that have been super crowded. And then I would say in the morning around between 8 and 10. And then in the afternoon, I would say between 3 and 7, because again, these are like traffic hours when kids are getting out of school, people are getting out of work, blah 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 blah. So dirty and smelly. There are a lot of people here that do not have homes, and they do tend to reside in buses or subways, and for the most part I would say that they do mind their business, but just be careful still, because sometimes they can walk up to you or they will be around you. And honestly, it's not just homeless people. It is people in general. But again, that happens anywhere, right? It's just something that I always keep in the back of my head. I always just like to put my headphones on and just keep on walking, literally. Another negative is that the bus is not always on time, especially on the weekends. Yeah. Sometimes because of road closures or just heavy traffic in general, the bus can be 10, 15, 30 minutes late, you guys. Unfortunately, that's something that you kind of have to plan for. Having wherever I've had to go, I usually get dropped off very, very close. Maybe it's usually like a 10-minute walk or something less than that, but you're usually getting dropped off at a very approximate location. So not the exact, you could be at the exact location, but very approximate. Again, you have to walk, or sometimes just take a bike and just, bike on over to wherever it is that you are going. So approximate location. And on top of that, another con is that it can take multiple buses to get to wherever it is you are going. So this is a quick example of going from the Grove to downtown to the last bookstore. Notice that there are different routes that you can take depending on where you are, and it gives you an approximate time and how long you're going to walk, so on and so forth. Now this is the weekend, so it is a lot better during the weekdays, but I do recommend you to look at your route days before you're supposed to be at your destination. But yeah, that's your example, you guys. And it can just be a little bit overwhelming at first. But however, there are some positives to taking public transportation. And my number one being so far is, I'm sure you guys have seen the gas prices. If not, I would try to insert it here. The bus is $1.75. And sometimes it's just free. Like one of my favorite buses to take is a Dash bus, right? It's like a community local bus that you can take around different communities in LA, obviously. Sometimes the machine is broken, so they'll just let you go in. Or sometimes they're just like trying, the drivers are just trying to get all these people in, that you'll just go and bam. Okay, let's see. Oh, another one. Okay, another positive. It's environmentally friendly, you guys. Obviously, because you are carpooling, taking public transportation is actually a lot easier than before, or that I thought of. Google Apple Maps, and it will literally tell you Oh, take this bus, take this bus. This is how long it'll take. This is how much it'll be if you take, let's say, Uber or Lyft approximately. So you always get what time the bus is coming, how often it is arriving, and when you will be arriving at your location. It gives you a very, like I would say 95% accuracy rate, literally. It has using the Google Maps, Apple Maps has not failed me so far. Oh, you don't have to worry about driving, you guys. If you've been in LA, you know that it is so chaotic. I've driven here a couple of times and it's just okay, I feel a bit more calm. There's a lot of traffic and the parking is, I'm not really sure how to explain it. It's just the parking signs are very interesting. So I hear that a lot of people get tickets because I'm gonna try to find an example as well. But basically, parking can be difficult and expensive. So you do not have to worry about that. Literally, all you have to do is just sit and enjoy the ride. If there are seats available. That you can meet interesting, kind people. Well, I guess this is a pro and con. You know, interesting people, but also interesting people. I've had some wonderful conversations with like some older women that just remind me of my mom and my tias or like my grandma. And nos estamos platicando de las familias and all of this. And it's just like, oh, it's so nice. So, I don't know, maybe one of these days, like, I'll find the love of my life. I don't know. Maybe he's right there. And I'm just like, and then he looks at me. And then I look at him. And then he looks at me. Wait, which one am I? Okay. Point is, you will find some interesting people. And surprise, surprise, there are a lot of people that take the bus. Very normal thing to do, which also makes sense because LA is definitely a bit more environmentally conscious in that sense, and that shows by the people using public transportation. Exercise, you guys. You get to exercise. Like, you get to walk up hills, you get to walk down hills, and you just, you know, you walk. If you got a Fitbit or you got something on your iPhone or whatever phone, you know, you track those steps, girl. Okay, you are going to get some good steps in. And along with that, you get to know the city from a local's perspective. You get to be more familiar with the streets, locations, places that maybe you want to visit, the people. I just love being able to take the bus and seeing all these wonderful neighborhoods that I probably wouldn't see if I don't know, took the freeway or something like that, right? So it does take a little bit longer, but again, you get to discover different neighborhoods and you're just like, oh, you have a book that you haven't finished or you haven't started, honey, now is the time to read it. Now is the time to get to it, because taking public transportation allows you to catch up on your ebooks, your actual books, your homework, projects. If you want to meditate, if you want to listen to podcasts, again, put on some headphones. I've seen people take out their laptops and their iPads and whatever and just, you know, blah, 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 get to work. So you have some time to just, or if you just want to sit down and just, you know, you can totally do that. But I love the fact that taking public transportation, again, takes the responsibility away from you and you just kind of focus on yourself at that moment. So now I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks on taking public transportation. And as a woman, I figured these are very helpful for you. This goes for anybody. Share your location. Share your location with your roommate, your friend, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your mom, your dad, your grandparents, whomever. It is vital, you guys. Aside from that, because like I said, public transportation can sometimes leave you at an approximate location, or maybe if it's too late or too early, I do still recommend you downloading any ride-sharing apps like Uber or Lyft or the Lime app for the scooters. They're so fun. I carry pepper spray with me. I think you should too. Hopefully you won't ever have to use it, but keep it on you just in case. Like I said, my favorite types of transportation is taking the dash buses. Those are just, I don't know, they're cleaner, they're nicer, and they are local. I recommend taking some newspaper, a plastic bag, something to sit on if you are, you know, going to be on the subway for a long time. If it's just from one stop to another, literally, I mean, you can just use your hand to hold on to the rail or the seat, or if you want to use a napkin. But if you are going to be sitting for a long time, I would definitely recommend taking some newspaper, just because, like I said, they're very dirty. Which brings me to my final tips and tricks. I carry a bag of goodies, and what I mean by goodies is just a bag of essentials that I personally like to keep with me just in case. First and foremost, hand sanitizer, lotion in case my hands get a little bit too dry, chapstick in case my lips get too dry. I take tissues if you want to hold on to the rail again, or just, I don't know, tissues are always nice. I take some wet ones. I feel like a lot of these products are just self-explanatory. I have some Lysol, more lotion. You don't have to get this, but since you are going to be on a long commute, I do recommend getting a portable charger. There you go, a portable charger. This one is one I got from Amazon a couple of years ago. For anyone that says that moving to LA without a car is impossible, you're lying. It is going to be difficult, and it will take a while to get adjusted, but it is not impossible. Would I prefer that it be less stinky? Yes. Would I prefer that it takes less time? Yes. However, again, I like to plan accordingly, so you should plan accordingly. But if you need more help, please feel free to leave me a comment or message me. And if you'd like to follow my social media accounts, you can also do that as well. All right, you guys, that is pretty much it. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna shut up now. All right, toodles, and I will see you soon. Bye.